There we go. Okay. All right. So George Clinton, how are you, man?
Pretty good in yourself.
All right. All right. Pleasure to long last have the interview with you. Thanks for your time.
It's good to be here. We're back on the road again, doing the dog all over the place.
Right. Right. Just tell us about what you're doing and where you're traveling these days.
Right about now, I'm getting ready to start work on this new album for Mammoth Records, and so we're gonna be out for about 6-7 days, and then we'll, as I say, we're getting ready to go into the studio to do this new album for Mammoth Records. We're on the road for about 6 days right about now, and we got a new record out there called Dope Dogs. It's been out for a while over Europe, but it just come out here and it's doing very well. Dogs is on the prowl again. So we're getting ready for the Millennium year. That's coming up next year. So we're getting ready to pull all the stops out and get everything out of mothballs. I just alerted the rest of the P-Funk mob. They got to come to work now. You know, Bootsy, Bernie, and I'll get in touch with Maceo and them pretty soon. And so this is the year coming up.
Right. So we're looking to go do some more performing with Maceo and Bootsy coming out there.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll do everything I can to get it all out there now.
Are they playing on this forthcoming album we got coming up?
Oh, they're gonna be involved. Yeah.
Cool. You did a show last night. Tell us about the show last night. What was that for?
I don't know. It's some corporation. Was it Bartenders or something, or something like that. I got in very late and just bounced in and did the gig. We did one up in Erie, and I just popped in, and I know it was a short show, you know, so it must be one of them corporate shows. I wasn't aware of it at the time when I got there. I just noticed that it was too short for me, and it was nice. You know, folks got out.
Cool. Tell us about the last album you did. We just had one out like about in the past year or so, right?
To Pour Phone.
Yes.
That's my favorite album.
Why?
I mean, I usually don't have favorite albums, but I don't know. It came together real good. I mean, each song was like its own thing, and even today when people hear it for the first time, they be like, "Wow, that's gonna be a smash." They don't know it's out already, you know, and it's just one of those albums I know, like in the years, like when Stand on the Verge or Take It to the Stage, America's is Young. Even though they weren't hits when we put them out,
right,
they're hits because they stay out there so long.
Right.
And that'll be one of those kind. And there's definitely I felt good about that. You know, we got in touch with the new vibe out in the streets. You know, with the Eric Sermon cut. Anybody get funked up, Mathematics or Hard as Steel. I just felt good about that one.
Cool. So, since you mentioned it was some of your favorite, that's your favorite recording. But tell us about some of your older hits that might have been some of your favorites, like maybe Flashlight.
Oh, well, Funkadelic and One Nation was definitely my favorite. Goes without saying, Mothership Connection was, you know, still is like the one because it started us into this space thing we're doing right now. You know, Bootsy's records, you know, all the name is Bootsy, definitely was my favorite of his records that we did. The Brides album, Never by Texas, I put that up there with the rest of them. You know, records don't have to be a hit for me to still like them. I don't just like them because they was flops, because, you know, it takes me so long to like them. When I'm working on it, it takes me a long time to just pick one tune at a time and save it till it's time for me to put it out.
Right, and really that's how you really have to, in terms of working, I would imagine that's how you have to do it, being an artist, is just create it to your liking, and then hopefully people appreciate that particular style.
Right. And some people, though, if it's a flop, they don't like it no more. You know, I can't get to that, because if I like it, I'm going to have to keep liking it. I mean, I want to just be, fair weather type minded about it.
Right.
That's why usually when our records stay out, they stay out so long, because it may take people a long time to hear it, and they usually stay around. You know, usually stay around. May not be commercial as they could be sometimes, you know, because I do have a hard time making a record commercial because I put too much in it, and I like to put the art in it. You know, I ain't saying that everybody else do. I like that if we got musicians that can play, you know, like a Bernie or Maceo, I like to give them a chance to play. Mm-hmm. And sometimes that, you know, makes the record too long or something. But eventually they get to hear, people hear say, "Oh wow, damn, I didn't know that song was that bad."
Right. We were talking about your artwork a few moments ago. Just talk about that and how it's been lucrative for you in terms of selling pieces.
Oh man, that scared the hell out of me. You know, I've been doodling for a while. That's where I do my autographs. I used to just draw a dog on there, and so I did it for years. And then all of a sudden, the artist Overton Lord, who do some of the part of the album covers, Sir Nose and stuff, he was showing me stuff and do this, do that. And then he started saying, "This will be that. This is all right there, da da da." And he got a art like teacher. You know, I guess because of the Grateful Dead, what's his name?
Jerry Garcia.
Jerry Garcia, and a lot of other artists that was drawing and painting couldn't necessarily draw commercially, but people liked their stuff, and they thought that I should do it because people thought it was something, and so I started doing it. And the very first showing, or the second showing, we sold like $60,000 for that stuff. I hurried up and got me some art clothes and some paint. And I was trying to draw with form at first, you know, trying to make it recognizable. But like the music, and I seem to be the same, and that's where the guy explained it. It's just like the music. It works better when I just do it and don't think about what I'm doing. Don't try to be the one knowing what I'm doing. Music, I do the same thing. Sly said, "Don't learn no better, man. If you knew better, you wouldn't do that." He said, "It wouldn't work." He said, "So you don't know no better. It's working for you. Don't learn no better." And so that's musically, and that's the way it is with the art. Just go there and just throw some paint and just, call myself being silly as do with the music, trying to be funny. And for some reason, a lot of people agree that it looks like I'm colorblind. You know, not necessarily, I guess, but then even the people that, you know, that hang around younger people, they actually, that's the funniest part in it, because I know how we used to crack up at art of people, you know, trying to make something out of something, and even they be like, the colors is this and that and that. So I said, whatever, you know, you pay $3,000, $4,000, now $20,000 for a piece. I got to see me the guy tonight, for $19,000 worth of paintings. I would ask him, what, you know, and he didn't even hardly know the group. The art teacher, the art consultant at the museum told me, "Don't talk." And I can't help it because I was, you know, lady told me, she saw one piece, and this piece had been cut in half, so it was two pieces. And so she looked at it, and this is a crashed spaceship. You can basically see that's what it looked like, a disc. You know, it fell to the ground and burst open. But the guy had cut it in half, made two pictures out of it. So she's, okay. So I'm walking around there and I see her looking at the other half of it. She tells the children, she said she saw something. I couldn't hear what she said, so I walks over there. She said, "I'm telling them, I think I see a blessing in this picture." Well, what did you intend? What is it? And I said, "Oh, it is a blessing." I said, "This picture is the other half of that other picture you saw around there. And these are the people that's leaving the spaceship thinking they were blessed because they didn't get burned up. They didn't get burned up in the spaceship." The kids crazy about, "He's crazy." I said, "It is a blessing." And she bought it. The kids said, "We want that one."
So they took it?
They took it. I said, "I'm through with this." And so the art lady told me, "Don't you talk. Just shake hands and take pictures."
So you were saying that some people actually appreciate more of your abstract stuff, right?
But much more than the abstract stuff. I mean, I can actually feel what it is now when it's right. Usually, I had to keep looking at it and keep editing it. He tell me, whenever he say take another look at it, that means it ain't quite right or something, and I have to keep looking at it. Then I edit some more, and usually I get pretty much down because right now it's like space. There's a lot of space on it, and then So it's just a feeling, I guess, and I can actually pretty much do it now on my own. Just figure out what space and colors. I have to write the colors on the pen, if it ain't already, or either on the brush or in each dish.
Right.
And then after a while, I can feel it. When it's right or when it's close right. Main thing is getting smooth background on the canvas. Get the smooth back, and then just a little bit of something in the middle of it.
Right.
And then mashing together, get prints on it, and that's even better. So we did that to that one.
You mentioned in this, when we first started about you going out on the road again in terms of getting the new album together. Is the new album already finished, or are you still in the studio?
Just to get rid. I did some tracks. Now I got to go out and get some vibe together and do the words. Then I'll overdub it. With other people on it, and narrow it on down to whatever the concept gonna be.
So it's a work in progress still
going
on. Do we have we're not setting a date for completion or release yet at this point. Spring, probably around spring. You mentioned Sly Stone a little bit ago. Have you talked to him recently?
Not real recent, but a few months ago. He's still working. He's always working, but he just won't put out nothing. He's just, I don't know what he was thinking about. His old band was playing with Prince, toured with him for a minute. I thought it would have been really good if he'd have popped up in L.A. and, I showed up, y'all.
Right.
It would be, because, I know him, and he wants to come back successful, and, what's that? Being back is successful. You know what I'm saying? And that sounds like a lyric he would write, too. But he identified with cool, and I'm saying, shit, anything is better than not doing the music, to me anyway.
Have you talked to him about getting with him and doing something? Or?
No. We've done some things together,
right?
We did a lot of things together, but as far as him coming back and doing his thing, getting in charge, and his stuff was so bad, and he's hard to please anyway. He got stuff that's better than 1,000 people put together. You know what I'm saying? And it still would be valid. He could come out here, talk, and would be as down as any rapper. Because his talking is as slick as any rappers out here. Just his natural talk.
Right.
His bullshit is just like, when they write hard to try to come up with the shit he said, he would say it right up in one mouthful. He would say all the dissing in the world, and he got the tone too. But I don't think he listened to radio enough to know what that's about.
We got Thanksgiving's coming up. We're in the week of Thanksgiving. Any special plans for Thanksgiving? Thursday? Are you gonna be working or breaking bread with the family?
Join the turkey army. No, we'll be on the road on the bus.
You'll be out on the road on the bus. Are you performing that night or just gonna be in?
I'm not sure. I think so though. I don't know. I never know what we're doing.
Right.
He point me in that direction and I'm going.
Gotcha. Mentioned Sly Stone's band playing with Prince, with the artist not so long ago. Talk about working with him when you did your stuff with him.
Beautiful. He's quiet and he's a super cool dude. But he's just not coming into his own. He's coming on out of his shell. I tease him now, say because he's upset. He just done found out, how rough it can be in the industry now. I told him, I said, you just realize you're black. It's funny. Because he's really, he was really pissed. I guess whatever happened, and all along I'm trying to tell him, that's the way it is. You got your 3 to 5 years up there. You can be white. Period. It don't matter who you is. The system is like that. It won't even have a superstar president no more. This country will not have none of that no more. No Mick Jaggers and Beatles, and the world they're scared of that too much foreign relation. You can become diplomats when you get too big, and they don't like that. You can change foreign policy and shit. So he got to that point to whatever it was they was juggling with. I know they were juggling because we had a hit record with Smell My Finger, Paint the White House Black, and the doors closed down on the company while we was on tour on was it Lollapalooza? We was on tour and no records in the stores.
No records were out there.
No records in the stores, and the biggest tour in the world we was on. So, and they closed his doors down. He had just opened his office up. So I knew they was pissed at him about something, and you could feel it coming. It was like that. Anyway, so when that happened, I knew it was that. It was at that time. And then he put out that one record, Most Beautiful Girl, on Boardwalk, and they worked, and they still wasn't. So they was pissed at him. Period. And now that he's doing this thing underground, it's working for him again. He's got a brand new career. He's out on his own. And he's happy. I said, and he's like, revolutionary. I said, no, it ain't that deep. No, you got to do it quietly. But he's doing real good now. I'm do something with him, with Larry and Shaka. I love Shaka's record.
Oh man, Come to My House, isn't that dope?
Ooh, he peed on that shit.
Yeah.
I think it sounded like the stuff he did for Miles. He did a lot of stuff for Miles, so Miles died, and they never put it out.
I didn't know that. No.
Oh yeah. Shaka did someone before Sticky Wicky. That was Miles was on that. But he did a lot of stuff for Miles, and that sounds like the type of stuff he would have done, I think. But when he laid that shit out, I mean, you have to give her a lot of credit because she's a stylist too. So she's probably one of the first that could take his songs and make them be what they're supposed to be in the first place. She probably could take all his other songs and do the same thing with. She could take, she'd take a song and wear it out. I mean, so you got a serious talent there. Yeah. So that combination, and they have to find Larry. They have to find what his thing is.
Right. And you said your next record is coming out on Mammoth Records, right?
It's Disney.
Is it Disney? Okay. Now the last project was that was Epic, top of
Sony.
Sony,
yeah.
It was a Sony
550 in it.
550, right? And then
they didn't have their black department, and it was supposed to have been like an alternative record in the first place. They started gearing it to the R&B market as we got halfway through it. Because we was cutting entirely other kind of stuff at first. Because I know it's gonna be hard for us to get back on black radio anyway. Just the age thing is a factor there. Nobody want to admit it, but you don't hear no Aretha Franklin, Wilson Pickett, Solomon Burks, or you know what I'm saying. You don't hear no old R&B singers around. It's just ain't their programming,
right?
It ain't nothing. Al Green sneaks on a radio, but it be pop when he do sneak on. Aretha sneak on for a minute. You know what I'm saying? They just, it's like a turnover. And so it don't bother me. I mean, I make you wish you had played it, because that's the way we like. I like the Adversary anyway, and our audience now, even hip hop is alternative now. I mean, that's you can find the real hot hip hop artists. More white people like them than blacks. You get especially those Public Enemies and Rakims and whoever's hot at the moment. Especially if they're talking radical, they really will, and they'll stick around a little while. Chris, KRS-One,
Now he just started doing A&R. I heard out for Warner Brothers in California. KRS-One.
You did?
Yeah, he just cooked up with an A&R deal out there for Warner, doing some stuff for them. Warner Reprise.
He's good. Yeah. He's good any kind of way you look at it. I mean, he did the kids' book. he's talented. Him and Rakim is the epitome of rap to me. I mean, they could have just closed the book as he did his. I mean, the rest of it was good for the backup to make it go into what it is now, because it's going to be the formula music now. I mean, it and rock and roll is going to merge, and it's going to be deadly. I like Public Enemy and Anthrax. I thought that was happening, and all the ones that did it together, like Run and Aerosmith. All of that stuff. Right. I think that's what Rakim. Good Lord, that boy. I would like to see him and Sly do a record.
Are you going to have any rappers on your forthcoming album?
Oh yeah, so ain't no way from that. I can't.
Who are you talking about? What to do with that? What are we talking about?
I don't know. Whoever I bump into, ODB, Busta, and all them did the last record I did. And Q-Tip and all them did this last one, but. whoever I run into.
Right. When did we get the deal with Mammoth with this Disney?
About a month ago.
That's cool. So is it just gonna be the one album? Do you find it's better just doing one album with a label, or did you set out a longer contract?
No, I'm trying to do two. Try to do two at a time. Mm-hmm. You know, that way I'm married and can't get away. If it work, it'll work. If it don't, leave. You want to come back, you can come back. Mm-hmm. Just ring around the record companies anyway.
Right. You mentioned about KRS-One doing a book for kids. Had you ever thought about doing your memoirs, like your life story and an autobiography?
Well, the Hutton Brothers is getting ready. They're gonna do the movie on the mothership first. We're doing it. Random House is doing a book part one on my life story. Now Archie Ivy, who's with me, and another writer brother, Donald Ferguson. They're doing. They're gonna do a book on my life. I don't know how we're gonna start it because it's so long and so many different places that they're gonna have to do about 3-4 versions of it. Because each place was like 10, 15, 20 years. You know, Motown, the Mothership Days itself, now the hip hop and sampling era. And when we found out that we was going to do it, we started spicing it up with stuff. We started doing other crazy stuff just to make it fat. We got a new Mothership and all that shit.
So the Hutton Brothers are doing the Mothership, you say?
They're going to do the movie, yeah.
The movie. Is that in production now or scripting?
Well, they're doing the book now. Wrote the story a couple of years ago. Mm-hmm. We've been down with them for a long time. They're doing a theme park up in Seattle, Washington, on funk, on American music, I guess. But funk is going to be the first thing, along with Jimi Hendrix. It's a theme park, and Reggie's spokesperson for that. Mm-hmm. So it's going to be a big thing going into the end of the millennium and into the new millennium.
Talk more about that. When I met you, I saw you at the Apollo a few months ago, and I said, "What can friends expect from George Clinton for the next millennium?" You said the beginning of the funk, but you've been doing funk for the past 30, 40 years.
That's as we know it.
Right.
That's as we know it. The world will be a whole new place come the first of that year. I got a feeling they've been saving some realities just for that date. You know, you can see them creeping them in now. Things that we talked a little about, just clonings and virtual this, and I mean, you imagine how much when people found fire or the wheel or electricity. Mm-hmm. Computers is probably one most people can recognize now because it's changing fast. But they got stuff in store that they've been waiting for the 21st century. You know, if you watch those movies all in the 50s, in the 60s, I mean, it tells you the 21st century, everything was promised in the 21st century. Mm-hmm. So they had that shit all along. I'm sure the aliens has been here all along. I'm sure we got a lot of stuff from them. I'm sure that we started some kind of way with aliens and, even God itself. If we say he's in heaven, it's definitely somewhere up there, and I think we're in his image, and I think all of that is getting ready to have another set of meaning now. And we're doing it ourselves, we're cloning everything now.
And so with that, you're naturally going to be inspired for new music. So.
Definitely. Definitely. Whole head's going to change in a minute.
I was talking to a friend of mine, we were reading about this situation where in 2007 that blacks are going to lose their right to vote again.
I think all that shit will be obsolete. All that shit about blacks and whites. that problem, it's going to be more about DNA. Whose DNA is going blacks and whites, shorts and talls, because you're going to be able to DNA yourself green, blue, purple if you want to. All that kind of stuff. I think we'd be wasting our time to even deal on that level. It's going to be somebody jugging probably with us, but I don't think it'll be a black and a white or even the rich and the poor. Whatever the power is, that's going to be a problem. Power and the ones without power is going to be the problem. Mm-hmm. But I doubt if it'd be anything about any color anymore, because we all going to realize that it's never been that way in the first place. It's been a whole bunch of poor mothers with a few rich ones, at the top of the thing, and most of them probably is white. But I doubt if it's unanimously white, because it goes way back, and it's been that way for. They use the the factor of black and white because it keeps people busy fighting each other, and they keep the people poor in a certain rhythm. It keeps the people mad at police and police mad at them because they neither one of them got no money either, so they both in the same barrel and don't know it. The worst ones of all is teachers. I mean, they treat teachers so bad because that's the way we would learn what was going on. Had they paid teachers right, and I think if they do that, that's what we fight for. If they pay teachers right, we might be able to learn something. But it's going to be about knowledge and information. So we'll be wasting our time on that black and white poor. I mean, we all poor. Ain't no poor motherfucker going to be my enemy. I ain't got no poor enemies.
Right. Talk a little bit more about your days at Motown early on, because not many people are really aware that that's really like kind of like your foundation.
And most people, a lot of people don't even realize how deep Motown is. Motown is probably the epitome of the music industry. Period. I mean, that's probably another reason. Like you say, if you talk about blacks, they're gonna let them get going too far because they get on the dance floor and don't want to get off. Motown got up there on the charts, and nobody could get on the charts. I mean, they had 3 or 4 records on the charts at a time, top 10. And to be there was like being in heaven. And, of course, that back in the 60s, that's what everybody wanted to be, related to Motown. I'm part of Motown, myself included. So I did a couple of records on Michael Jackson and on Supremes, just as a writer. Michael's record was on the back of a cornflake box that we did. Holland Dozier. I mean, that was like the superstar of record business companies, Joe Bennett, Motown. So to be there was definitely an inspiration to me, and I learned a lot. And that's why I can pretty much switch to whatever era comes up, because I respect all music. As soon as I hear somebody say, that shit ain't gonna last, I rush to that music, because that's gonna be the next music.
What's some of the new stuff you've heard as of late that you like outside your own?
I laugh like hell.
Heard too many things?
I laugh like hell. I heard this rap record with Annie in it.
Annie. It's Hard Knock Life. Jay-Z.
I heard people saying they hated it,
Right.
And when I heard it, I cracked up. I immediately liked it. I mean, I can understand what they probably hate about, but I can also see all those show tunes there been part of rap. It's funny to me. I mean, I probably would have liked it anyway because it's fresh. Right. You can find new ways to keep the genre alive. Because if you go just stay dissing, how many times can you just beat up sucker MC or kick the bitch in the ass? You know what I'm saying? That's you're pretty weak if you still kicking on them too. Your shit ain't heavy at all, and that's all you can whip on. I mean, and rock and roll was the same way. It got to the point to where it wasn't no more political stuff to jump on, the wars and things. It got weak too. They couldn't find no topics. We've been playing the dozens for a long time. We can play the dozens forever, but you're making money off of that stuff. You're supposed to find somebody else to talk about.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I think that the government probably scared that they're going to turn them lyrics on to them. Now, if you got some clever rappers that could find out some information about the government and do it, they'll be taking a nice chance. And that's why I think rock and roll and hip-hop might merge at. I mean, you can imagine Public Enemy and Anthrax doing what Public Enemy was doing. And what Anthrax got the capability of pushing through, they had to break up. I mean, the government probably told them, no, y'all cut that shit out.
Right. Do you see yourself doing any collaborations with any newer artists or with some other guys?
Anybody.
The core P-Funk?
Anybody, yeah. I'm down for I wanted to do it with was it Johnny? What's his name? The country western guy, country guy. Johnny with the big voice. Big John.
I'm not sure.
Folsom.
Not John Berry, no.
Not John. Folsom Prison.
Johnny Cash.
Johnny Cash. I want to get him and a couple of rappers together.
And do something with him.
Yeah, because the system was so bent on pitting the blacks against whites and whites against blacks, and when this militia stuff came out, you kind of like they kind of like got a glimpse of it that's what was going on. You start seeing in the Final Call, you see this book in there called "Behold a Pale Horse," and that white man did not buy no time in the final call. So something in that book that Farrakhan was reading let you know that somebody else was on to what was going on in the book. It's all about how they pitting everybody against each other. Mm-hmm. And if one know it, the other one had to know it. And that's what the militia stuff was about. So, unbeknownst to a lot of people, the two radical sides of both sides had found out some information that began to let them know that, damn, he ain't the one for me to hate. It's somebody else pulling the string, And I thought, well, damn, that'd be nice. You get Johnny Cash do something like that along with a heavy rapper, right. And do something real hard. But then they probably bombed them to death, bomb on, because they got what's his name that did the Farmers Aid?
Willie Nelson.
They busted his butt down for trying to help the farmers out. Mm-hmm. They'll bust your butt if you try to help somebody out. I mean, they got Michael for talking about we're going to unite the world through children at the Super Bowl game. Mm-hmm. As soon as he did that, his troubles began. You got Richard Gere trying to get the Dalai Lama back in China. He gets a gerbil up his butt. You can't do that. They don't play that.
What's your take on the economic situation in the Far East now in Asia, Japan, how it's declined in the past year or so?
I don't know. I'm scared to even put thoughts on those things because they manipulate that stuff themselves. I mean, if they don't learn anything from this country, you can't tell if somebody's doing bad or good. Mm-hmm. They'll do bad just because that's part of the plan.
Right.
And be popping up somewhere else. All of a sudden they'll be building their cars over in India or someplace, and their own country people went down because they get cheap labor someplace else. They do that shit. I mean, I don't understand, how Japan, was bombed to the ground, and in 10 years, 15 years later, they're the top country in the world. Like Sony of New York, Standard Oil of New York.
Well, Bill Clinton, what's your take on that whole situation this past year with Lewinsky and all that jazz?
I mean, his ratings went up, so it shows you people, most of the president, they get some. I'd hate to have somebody with the button that ain't getting nothing. Anyway, lying go along with sex. I said that before. Lying and sex go together. Why do you do it in the White House? I wouldn't want him to go to Motel 6. I know he's lying all the time. These people talk about he lied to us. How can somebody lie to you about that? Damn well he was lying. I mean, I never expected him to be nothing else. I never expected him to tell the truth. He got messed up taste. And she mad because he didn't give her no head.
Thoughts on just back to the holidays for a minute. Can you tell us about a special Thanksgiving memory maybe that you've had, and then talk about your plans for Christmas?
Christmas gonna be so close to the end of the millennium. I ain't looking for no presents. The special Thanksgivings, all of them. I feel thankful for all of them.
Cool. And what about plans for New Year's? Any special plans for New Year's '99 at this point, going into the new millennium?
Going into '99.
99 into 2000, I should say.
99 2000?
Yeah, any plans?
Well, no, we want to be playing in the last time zone.
In the last time zone?
Yeah, like it started in Greenwich.
Right.
Whatever the last time, that must be Hawaii somewhere. We want to do a show there. We want to be the last place to pull up the rear from this time zone. When they're in 2000 here in New York, we want to be waiting to make sure everybody get into 2000 together.
Cool, that's dope. What about this year? What about 98 and 99?
Well, that's when it should start.
Right.
But it started really at Puffy's party. To me, the party started then. That was one of the deepest parties I've been to in a long time. Nobody didn't even know where they were at, and they was all there jamming, but they had no idea this was a real party. Even he was like, I mean, the money and all that was fun, but damn, this is a lot of action. It was really nice. You saw some of the biggest names in the world outside couldn't get in.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? Police snuck me in. I really must be. I feel like I was on a special list because everybody hollering, "You got to let George in. You got to let George in." Usually that shit don't bother me. You know, I can take this. You know. But with the police, you got to let George in. I said, "Damn, I must be all right." Shit.
Wow.
I had a ball in there. I got drunk and I don't even drink.
Cool.
I was drunk and having a ball.
Wow.
Yeah, I gotta get ready.
No problem, man. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, man.
Thanks for your time, man.
Cool.
Great.